Hey, what's up you guys? Ash here. Happy VidCon week. So, as the title says, Sony revealed why there wasn't really a focus on the PS Vita at E3. And in case you didn't know, the PS Vita wasn't really given a spotlight on stage. Let's just say it had cameo appearances. Well, not exactly. Example, they would say this game is coming out for the PS4 on blank blank 2014, and then as well as for the PS Vita, oh my god, then they would move on. So that's pretty much how, it went on stage. So anyway, an article was released, which you can find in the description, on why there was a lack of Vita focus at E3. Thanks to Game Reactor, you can check them out at gamereactor.eu. Jim Ryan, president and CEO of SCE Europe, was asked the big question, and he starts off, in my opinion, as doo-doo. He says, and I quote, "You get an hour and a half on the stage, and you've got to work out what's really important to talk about. And obviously PS4, and we also wanted to talk about the innovation stories of PlayStation Now, PlayStation TV, and Morpheus. So that stuff was all top of the list." Yes, this is true, and I agree. These should be at the top of the list. They are new features and products being released, and at E3 you show off what's to come. So it makes sense to get the new stuff out of the way, especially when you are on a time limit, and save the big guns for later. But that's still not a good excuse. Even though I side with this practice, I still don't buy into their doo-doo. They could have cut a couple of what they were showing down to size to make room for at least a 5-minute PS Vita speech. So that's a bunch of doo-doo. I'm sure they had to cut down a lot of stuff for this conference, so they could have done a little more. They had a year to prepare. As Ryan said, you've got to work out what's really important to talk about. So there you have it. The PS Vita isn't important to talk about. Next he says, we did talk about Vita, and we name-checked some of the games that are coming to the platform. We name-checked the fact that there's over 100 games in production still. We name-checked the remote play functionality with PS4. Over 100 games in production still. We already know this. You've told us this like 3 or 4 months ago, and remote play another 3,000 times. You spoke about games that were coming out, but mainly when a game was coming out for the PS4, and some indies, which I am not poking fun of. What I am trying to say is that you know why Vita fans watched E3 for, and what we all wanted to see. Ryan goes on and says, we spoke about it on the context of PSTV. But let's not forget that remote play is here and now with PS Vita, and is incredibly well received. The statistics about the way people use remote play with their PS Vita are very strong, and when people do it, it's not like they try it once and then put the Vita away. They go back and they use remote play on their Vita again and again and again. Overall, it's like the only way they can speak about the PS Vita is by using remote play, and now the PS Vita TV as a pedestal. Why? Because they believe it can't shine on its own. The PS Vita isn't doing well. And if you disagree, you're living under a rock and you can't count. But it isn't dead. Therefore makes it important as well.